On this edition of Empowered 305, we have not just a special guest, but someone we've been wanting to have on the show for quite some time, only 2 years. But she's here, and her name is Angela Roberts, and she is the Director of Human Resources for the City of Miami. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Finally. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have a very tedious job.
Yes, I do.
I've been knowing you for quite a few years. You do an amazing job. And I know you started with the city, what year?
I started with the city in 1999 as a temp employee, and then just gradually moved up through the ranks of human resources. Eventually ended up working in what's the city's version of an EEOC. It's called EODP. Became the director there, and then got promoted to the Director of Human Resources in 2017. And I've been the director ever since.
Awesome. Quite a trajectory in your career, huh?
Yes.
But you're not from Miami.
No, I'm not. I'm from St. Louis.
St. Louis,
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's where I'm from. Yeah.
What would you think is one of your key qualities that you believe makes your job so successful as an HR professional?
I don't think it's just one. I think I got a couple. I'm very transparent. So everybody in their life, they work in gray. There's black, there's white, and then there's some gray. For me, I don't do well in gray, but I know sometimes we deal with the political animal, so you might have to deal in gray a little bit. But for the most part, I'm black or white, which is very good for an HR director because we're the gatekeepers to the rules, the policies, the procedures. And then I think the biggest thing that probably has made me successful, I try to be empathetic as much as I can. And looking at the employees and their needs, but sometimes I got to put down the hammer. So I do that when I have to. And then learning my bosses. I've been through quite a few city managers and learning them and how they work, but also at the very same time being transparent as the HR director and still reminding them that we do have rules, regulations, and things that we have to follow. My favorite saying to all my bosses, I am here to save you from yourself. So I think that has helped me to be successful.
That's great. And you're a great communicator. I know I'm just a phone call away. I just vice versa, right?
Yes.
What advice can you give city employees on maintaining work-life balance?
It's kind of hard because I'm still struggling with that myself sometimes.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I think the better thing to do when you go home. Let it go. And, even throughout my career, especially when I started getting into the higher management roles, the nature of the beast a lot of times of this career that I have, it's sometimes you take the stuff home. If there's throughout my career, I probably could tell some stories that'll bring you to your knees, but that I've had to deal with. And so sometimes it's hard to not take it home. So my biggest thing to employees, this is a job, and you should, while you're here, do the best you can. However, when you go home, you are home. Focus on your family, focus on whatever makes you feel better and feel good, and separate the two mentally. The other thing is, we are very privileged to earn vacation time. Sometimes do a staycation, meaning that take some time off and get yourself together mentally and do the things that you need to do that's best for your peace of mind. So that's the advice I would give.
That's awesome. I know you've established great relationships here. Can you share a little about how you think the city supports diversity and inclusion?
I got to be honest, and I got to say that depends a lot on who is the city manager at that point in time. I'll go back to the person who appointed me and was the city manager at that point in time was very big on diversity, but also making sure that those diverse group of people that were hired, that we focus on their knowledge, skills, and abilities, and them being able to do the job. The same thing with this particular manager that we have now has really been instrumental in ensuring that there is diversity in the higher ranks that answer to him, and just kind of taking and also focusing on ensuring that those people that they hire, they focus on their knowledge, skills, and abilities. So a lot of that does have to do with the concept and the thought and the mindset of the city manager at that point in time.
Talking about hiring, there are a lot of positions that are available in the city. Where does someone go when they want to apply?
So you have two ways that you can apply. You can come in person to the Human Resources Department. It's in the Miami Riverside building on the 7th floor. And we have a little small employment office. And in that office is always somebody there, and they can tell you what we have listed, what job openings we have listed. And they will also sit with you and help you fill out an application to apply. We don't accept resumes, but you can attach them to your application if you want, but we look at the application. So the person can help you fill out your application, and that's one way. The second way is you can go online and on the city's website and go under Human Resources, and then it will list the job openings that we have. It will also tell you on the job announcement how to apply for the position. It gives you step by step, and there's also a number there if you're having problems that you can contact one of my staff from the recruitment division, and they'll be happy to help you and walk you through how to fill out the applications and answer any questions you may have about that job opening.
That's awesome. There's lots of times I think we get approached about where can I go to apply for a job, and that I didn't know.
Yes.
That's awesome. I didn't know that there was an employment office. That's
Yes.
an added component to the many things that HR does, right?
So I'm getting ready to take a jab at police, being that you're from police. The office used to be on the first floor.
Remember
used to be
back
a pretty
then?
big office.
Yes.
Until police special unit came and kicked us out.
I remember that. I remember the employment office was downstairs at
Yes.
the little window.
Yes.
And I remember filling out the application 20 plus years ago.
Yes.
And it was paper, and
Yes.
we've since then transitioned, right?
Yes, we have.
We've more paper reduction, right?
Yes, we have.
What is one of the most rewarding parts as your role as an HR director?
When I can help an employee. So let me digress for a minute. So when I was in EODP, I did the sexual harassment and diversity training. And one of the things that I would always tell employee, and now definitely in this role, I guess the baseline of my career, if you ask people how they feel about Angela Roberts, you're going to get 50-50. You're going to get 50 of those that, the 50% is going to be those that I've been able to help and do things for, and if I can go out of my way and make things right, I'm going to do it. And then you get the other 50% that will tell you they can't stand me simply because not knowing the whole gamut of what is being done behind the scenes, that I have not been able to help the way that they want because it's a violation of a rule, a policy, or procedure. So that gets a little hard to stomach sometimes, but I know, I have to move forward, and
Comes with the turf,
it
huh?
comes with the turf, correct. So I would say, though, the biggest part of this job is when I can truly help an employee, make a difference, go to bat for the right thing to do. That I have to say, that's the biggest part of this job that I like.
And your department continues to grow.
Yes, yes. When I first became HR director, I believe I had maybe 29, 30 employees, and now I have 40.
Some time ago off camera, we've talked about how you can grow from within the organization, right?
Yes,
We've seen that through the years, huh?
yes.
You're one of them.
I'm one of them.
You
yes.
are actually one of them. You
Yes.
are one of our testimonials.
Yes.
And that's how I would love for people to understand how you can grow. You started as a temp, and then you continue to grow, which is what I tell my team members, some that have been alongside with me throughout my career, coming from police and others that have actually begun with us. You can still grow from within the organization.
can.
There's a lot that the city offers.
Yes.
And with that also comes a wellness program, right?
Yes.
I know risk management is part of the wellness program, but human resources plays an integral part too, right?
For the most part, I have to say it's mostly risk management when it comes to the wellness program. So let me add a little bit to that I think is important for employees in the city, if you know, that are listening to this. One of the biggest things I always tell employees, if you have the opportunity to do something else, don't always look at the monetary part of it. Because, and the reason why I say that, because in my career, when I've had moments where I can volunteer and help another section in HR, I always did. So then when positions opened up and I had to interview, I was ready because I had some kind of insight of what was going on in different areas in HR. Same thing when that's how I was able to get into become the director over EODP, because when it opened up, I had been doing investigations and things of that nature, which allowed me to qualify for that particular position. Same thing with you. I'm going to use you for an example. Because you had did such a good job in PR and police and was well known and everybody knew about you, when the opportunity came for you to just, in an acting role, to be acting assistant director, why? Because the manager noticed you. You was ready.
Very
and now look
thankful.
at you.
Thank
So
you.
yes, so that's why I say I always tell employees, don't do that. Don't shy away and say that's not my job. You don't know what your journey is going to be. You don't know what is in store for you in this life, and take every opportunity you can.
I'm
Just-
extremely thankful, and thank you for being my mentor. You when I came over to be acting assistant director and then got promoted again. You have always played an integral role because you were always so open arms about willing to teach me certain things that I didn't know, the know-how of stuff. But thank you. You are a shining example for the city and and amongst us directors. You've done a fabulous job. And I know you have the open door policy, which is great. It's awesome. Thank you. And I know we're going to continue hiring, and I invite you to come back on this
Thank you.
podcast later
Thank
on.
you. Thank you.
Because if you want to touch something specific, I think this is the right platform to do it.
I would
But-
agree. I would agree with you.
Well, I want to thank you
Thank you.
for joining us here today, and my team that knows you very well.
Yeah, they do.
Welcome. We want that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's a wrap for this edition of Empowered 305. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.